All right, I want to get into these torpedo bats that people have been talking about, primarily with the Yankees. If you haven't seen them or don't know what they are, I'll get into it. Essentially, a standard bat starts narrow and expands towards the end, whereas the torpedo design moves the widest part of the bat down to the sweet spot for the hitter before narrowing again. Baseball's already ruled that they're perfectly legal, mainly because there's not that many rules for the bat itself anyway. As long as the max diameter of a bat is under 2.61 inches, there's no issues. I do think baseball will make changes to the rules, not just for this situation, but just in case there's other clever ideas advancing beyond it. And just so you know, batting average is down 5 points across the league. Not many people are using the bats. The Yankees grabbing the most attention for this, given that they just destroyed the Brewers in a 3-game sweep. Tons of home runs in that series. But it's not as though the entire team's using the bats. Anthony Volpe, Jazz Chisholm, Austin Wells, those are the guys on the Yankees using it currently. Giancarlo Stanton used it last year, but he hasn't played a game this season. Those 3 Yankees I mentioned did hit a lot of home runs over the weekend, so I see why it grabbed attention. But keep in mind, Lindor was also using the bat, and he started the season off 0 for 13. And in the first game after the Brewers series, Jazz Chisholm had 4 strikeouts against the Diamondbacks. So it's not as though this is just a tool for greatness. De La Cruz for the Reds started off the season not using it, but in his first time using it was 4 for 5 with 2 home runs. So there's a lot of mixed reviews on this thing. In terms of pure dynamics, when you move the heaviest part of the bat from the end to the middle, it does allow for a faster swing. They're using a lot of analytics to put the max diameter of the bat right where the player makes most contact, so that'll lead to more contact, therefore more home runs. But keep in mind, with less weight comes less mass, so less mass at the contact point, meaning therefore less power. There's not enough advanced stats yet to really prove whether this is a good thing or a bad thing, but I do think baseball will tread lightly. Multiple teams have players using torpedo bats, and half that list is still at 0 home runs, so this is not a sure thing. I don't really care much about this overall. Aaron Judge isn't using it, so it's not as though his hot start was lent to it. I do think baseball should corral this a little bit just to keep things uniform, but for the most part, the torpedo bats haven't been proven to make you better, but we'll see what happens in the future.